Hey, what's up guys, it's Unleash here today, and we're back with another video on Sonic X Shadow Generations. And in today's video, I just wanted to talk about an issue that I have had with this game's visuals for quite some time, but I could never really put my finger on what actually the problem was. But recently, I found a Twitter thread that actually goes through the issue that I've had with the game's visuals and actually has a solution for it. Now, the reason I talk about this issue in the first place is that I just want it to be fixed, man, because the Sonic social media team has stated that they are listening to our feedback and they can try to get it fixed before release. So if we talk about it right now and we're loud enough about it, there's a chance that it could be fixed by the time the game comes out. So there's no better time to voice our criticisms of the game than right now. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's discuss the topic at hand. So this series of tweets was made by _Pedro, and they will be referring to the Sonic X Shadow Generations Generation of Stages trailer that got released I think last week now. This is by far the worst comparison in the trailer. From vibrant filled with personality, lots of bits and pieces floating around, and lights and moving parts to Final Rush Unreal 4 remake using Sci-Fi Asset Pack number 5, and with a piss filter on top to make it even more dull. And I've snagged a frame of the trailer shot that they were showing off here, and you can see in the middle obviously Sonic X Shadow Generations, and on the sides that is Sonic Adventure 2, and you can see there's some weird yellow filter over Sonic X Shadow Generations compared to SA2. It's a lot more vibrant or whatever. Now this isn't actually the first time this actually happened with the Sonic game, because this also happened with the GOAT Sonic Unleashed. For some reason, specifically the Xbox 360 version of Sonic Unleashed, there's a very weird piss filter over the game that just makes the game look more yellowy than the PS3 version where there was no filter on it, and yeah, it just looks a bit weird in some areas. It just makes it look like the PS3 version is a whole lot more vibrant with the colours and whatnot, because obviously there's no yellow filter of everything there. But that same issue has been brought back with Sonic X Shadow Generations, but this time every single version of the game has that piss filter on it. And in my personal opinion, it just makes the game look very washed out and very lifeless. Because of that yellow filter, all the game's life and colour is just gone now. And you'll see exactly what I mean later on in this video. Right, carrying on with the Twitter thread. Rail Canyon looks great, but you know, why the wood floors and a goddamn desert canyon reflective? Like, yeah dude, we've been using PBR materials for 10 years now. You can't tone down the metallic and roughness maps on things. And yeah, this isn't really anything to do with the yellow filter in the game, but it is to do with how there are some strange decisions with the art direction here. Like, yeah, that is a good point. Why is the wood very reflective here? Like, it's wood, it's not supposed to be reflective. What? The stage was meant to look dusty, westerny, with rough surfaces. Look at the metal trims and how they're filled with rust, and how the grain on the wood looks dirty, not like you just polished the living room before playing with your train set. Look at the wall decoration. I'm not trying to hate, but these look like a Minecraft HD texture packs. They don't look fit, they look too low poly when compared to the rest of the scene. Bolts on the wall, X-bolts on the thingy. Also, they're backwards. Though we have some screenshots of the game and Sonic Heroes right here, and to be honest, I don't really see the complaint with the wood texture. I think the wood looks fine here, but I think actually complaining about the bolts, as in the circle things on the right there. In Sonic Heroes, they're a flat texture because obviously it's a GameCube game, that makes sense, but what's the excuse for Sonic X Shadow Generations? I mean, there is none really. And yeah, even though it is a small thing, it does add up together to make the game look kind of cheap in some areas. I'm not even trying to hate. There are genuine moments where it looks great, like this one. I'm just trying to point out how inconsistent and low quality certain things look. And yeah, this comparison right here is really good for Sonic X Shadow Generation because that just looks beautiful, man. Like, the lighting, everything is just perfect there. But most often things like the piss filter or the chromatic aberration, which looks like a boost effect, tend to take over and ruin the whole thing. Kingdom Valley is already a moody stage, and a lot of its charm comes from that exact reason, but Sonic X Shadow Generations just looks brown. From the moment I saw this in the trailer, I always thought Kingdom Valley looked a bit weird in the new version because, I don't know man, it just looked very drab and boring. Like, I know it's Kingdom Valley and it's a whole castle and everything, but even the 06 version had a bit of life in there at least. But I don't know, something about Sonic X Shadow Generations is it just looks very drab and boring. Like, it's got the better lighting, sure, but everything else, the colouring and everything, yeah, original Kingdom Valley I think personally looks a whole lot better. On direct sunlight, does it look good? Yeah, a bit lower poly than I'd expect. Check out the wall ruins, but hey, the bits they did at half the model and took from Quixel Megascans look fine. Cliffs, vegetation, etc. And yeah, this specific screenshot doesn't look too bad here, but one thing that I've noticed that's actually in this game, as well as Superstars, is the weird white outline on every 3D model here. On Shadow and the Eagle specifically, there's some sort of weird white outline that just doesn't look natural or good here. It just looks a bit, again, cheap. You can only see for a split second the interior, but look at how boring it looks when compared to the original, which had the window panels glowing, creating this feeling of actually being inside and of it actually looking like glass. The parts where they could make great use of those shiny reflective materials that they use everywhere else, that's wrong. They just don't. They got the glass shards of VFX looking right, but not the actual window. And yeah, I can actually see what they mean here, because the glass here, you can see the light coming through, the glass is glowing because obviously it's a stained glass window, that's supposed to happen. But then in Shadow Generations, there's none of that at all. The glass is not glowing, there's barely any light going through the window, there's just nothing there, it's all gone. So on top of the weird yellow filter over the entire game, there's also the small little details that are just either missing or not done as well as they should have been. I know some people are going to be like, oh, they're not that big of an issue, so why are we complaining about it in the first place? But there's a saying that death by a million paper cuts, and that could be the case here, because even though the issues that we're talking about aren't that big in the grand scheme of things, if we have a million tiny details that are just a bit annoying to look at, then the game as a whole is going to look a whole lot worse than it could have actually been. Then that really will be a big issue. And here's where we go more in depth with the yellow filter over the entire game. So right here again from the Pedro, a lot of people seem to be confused about the term piss filter. So let me show you in the laziest way possible. I'm not going to be doing any fancy adjustments, just a simple yellow layer with the blending mode set to divide. You can try this at home. For reference, this is the colour that we'll be extracting out of the screenshots. I'm just interested in taking the yellowish tint out of the picture, not fixing contrast or changing too much. We're just getting the piss filter out. Final Rush, taken straight out of the trailer. There's a yellow square at the bottom right that'll turn white once we take out the piss filter. It's left there as a reference. Here's Final Rush when we activate our depissify layer. Notice how the square turned white and how the blues come back, making the picture look way less brown and bringing back some of the colours. And we have a close-up comparison right here, and my god, it is insane how much better the game looks without that weird yellow filter over it. Like, the game actually has life and colour in it now. Like, this yellow filter was kind of just ruining everything. I can't even look at the original game anymore without even being disgusted now. Like, that yellow filter just ruined everything, man. Like, it just looks so disgusting, so brown. The new one just looks so much better now, this edit here. And it isn't even that big of a change either. It's just taking out a bit of yellow in the game and it automatically just looks a whole lot better. It really can't be that hard of a fix, surely. I also did that for Rail Canyon. Didn't change anything else, although I'd argue that the piss filter doesn't bother me with this one, given how the stage uses a lot of yellows and browns and oranges already, so it kind of adds to the mood. And yeah, once again we have the comparison right here, and yeah, honestly, I actually think that the original looks better here with the filter on, because again, as the person already said, Rail Canyon is supposed to be like an orangey stage already, so the piss filter can actually work for it, so yeah, I didn't really mind it too much with the Rail Canyon anyways. And finally, here's Kingdom Valley. Notice how the original skybox just comes back. And again, the difference here is astounding. Look how much better it looks without the yellow filter on it. It looks less disgusting and again, more vibrant. The life is back now. And yeah, the skybox actually looks pretty normal now, just kind of similar to the original, which is exactly how it should have been. I always said that the Kingdom Valley skybox in Sonic X Shadow Generations looked very weird compared to the original, but this edit, again, it just looks completely normal now and I have no problems with it. It looks good. Here are some more random screenshots. Now I'm going to be honest, some of the screenshots I've actually shared here didn't actually have much difference in them, so I'll just show the Kingdom Valley ones because those are the most significant ones. So here's the first screenshot and wow. Again, the colouring, the life has been brought back. It just looks so much nicer, man. Like, I don't understand why they put the yellow filter on it, man. Like, I just don't get it. And again, right here, I mean, what more can I say, really? The new one looks better. The edited version just simply looks better. And here's the end of the thread. I would also like to point out that this was intentionally done very subtly, because this isn't how you want to approach colour correction in a game. This is a cheap and lazy method to prove a point. And prove a point you did, because this is just my biggest issue with the game pretty much solved. I've always said, again at the start of the video, that the game's visuals looked a bit weird, and I could never put my finger on what actually was the problem, but this is basically put my thoughts into words, and yeah, this is exactly what the problem was. This weird yellow filter that makes the game look very disgusting and boring, drab, colourless, lifeless. And the good thing about this is that it isn't really that hard of a thing to fix, really. I mean, all they gotta do is just simply remove the filter. That's it. Boom. Problem solved. Everybody's happy. Anyways, that about does it for today's video then. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video because, again, if you can get this issue to be heard by the actual developers of the game, then maybe they can fix it, and which will make the game look even better. So yeah, let's just hope and see what happens, right? But let me know what you guys think of this topic. Do you think the game looks better without or with the piss filter? Let me know down below. I'd love to see what you guys have to say. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, especially that last one. Don't forget to become unleashed by touching that join button down below. Remember, it's not necessary.